There's a couple of movies that I've seen over the past handful of months that, for one reason or another, I really didn't get to review, so I'm just going to be reviewing them in rapid fire style to you guys right now. And yeah, let's just get right into it with the first movie. Happy Gilmore 2 is a legacy sequel I really didn't think anything of when it was first being announced, being released, but I ended up being really pleasantly surprised by. Happy Gilmore, I think, is one of the most rewatchable and endlessly entertaining Adam Sandler comedies to have come out in his career, so doing a follow-up to this isn't the worst idea in the world, but it did seem like another cash grab, another Netflixy thing that he was just doing to make a lot of money, but it actually felt like there was some effort put forth here. There's a lot of heart behind this movie. It just seemed like everyone really cared and had a lot of fun while making this movie. It's not anything groundbreaking, it's not really all that special, but it was really fun to watch in the moment, and I'm gonna give it a light 3 out of 5. Fear Street Prom Queen is technically the 4th movie in the Fear Street franchise that Netflix has been doing over the last couple of years, although it has nothing to do with the trilogy that came out in 2021 that I quite enjoyed. This movie is kind of its own standalone thing, trying to kick off something else, but it fails. It fails immediately. It falls flat on its face. This movie is really, really disgraceful. It is boring. It's so directionless and so derivative, and it's just a mind-bogglingly misfire of a movie that honestly isn't all that surprising coming from Netflix nowadays. So I'm gonna give Fear Street Prom Queen a 1 out of 5. The Woman in the Yard is another horror movie I expected to be god-awful. Really didn't have a promising trailer. I saw that Blumhouse graphic at the beginning of the trailer, so I skipped it completely. However, I was shocked by how much I kind of liked The Woman in the Yard. It wasn't bad at all. I think that it creates a real sense of tension and a spooky atmosphere. I like all of the performances here. It does retread on some really stale ground, I would say. Grief and all that stuff has been beaten to death within the horror realm, especially even this year. With The Woman in the Yard, I think the way it approached its scares specifically, and again, building that atmosphere, really, really worked for me. So not anything groundbreaking, not like a home run or like a hidden gem or anything, but a movie that I quite enjoyed that a lot of people really didn't. So I'm going to give Woman in the Yard a 3 out of 5. Unlike The Woman in the Yard, though, Drop is a Blumhouse movie that was bad from the get-go. What are we doing with this movie? It is clearly made by people who have no artistic bone in their body, have no creative anything in their repertoire. This movie is so vanilla and so bare bones and so low effort that I kept asking myself, why am I even watching this? Why do I continue to push through this? Why am I subjecting myself to such milquetoast? But I did it because I needed something to review and fill this list up with, so the things I do for these videos, but whatever. Drop is such a dumb movie. Don't watch Drop. 1.5 out of 5. Another really crappy horror movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, is a legacy sequel, obviously, to the original 90s films, and I thought there would be some promise here, maybe visually or something to grab onto. No, this movie was hilariously bad. It really, again, phoned in, I think, is the biggest theme of this Roundup review. This movie was phoned in. I honestly can't tell you a single aspect about it. I forget. I kind of zoned out while watching this movie. It was bad. It wasn't worth paying attention to, so who cares? 1 out of 5. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is the last movie in one of my favorite action franchises ever. Cam and I were very excited for this. We watched all of the movies. I was really getting back into the Mission Impossible franchise, like really throwing myself into it. And I guess it would kind of shock some people to, like, why haven't you reviewed this one solely? Why haven't you ranked all of the Mission Impossible movies like you said you were going to? And honestly, it's because I have soured on The Final Reckoning a little bit. It's a movie that has a lot of grandiosity to it. It's a movie that has a lot of bravado. It's really wearing what it is on its sleeves, and I respect that to a point, but it's also going so far in a cartoonish and self-aggrandizing direction that I kind of felt turned off by a lot of it. It's definitely entertaining. There are some moments in here, like the submarine sequence to be specific, that really are some of the best in the franchise, but I felt hollow at the end of this. Really was trying to tie everything in a nice, beautiful little bow, and ended up not really having a satisfying conclusion to any storyline in this franchise. So I still liked it. It's still entertaining, but honestly one of the more hollow experiences in the Mission Impossible franchise. I'm going to give it a light 3 out of 5. The Naked Gun is a movie that I was not really expecting all that much out of. I do love the director, I forget his name, I always forget his name, but the guy from The Lonely Island who did Pop Star Never Stop Stopping. And I like the Naked Gun movies a lot, but I was just expecting this to be really silly and dumb, and that's exactly what it is, but it is in the best way possible. I feel like 2025 has really been a strange year for movies, but one of the more stranger aspects is the return of just the straight up comedy, and I think that this movie really signals that mainstream audiences want to laugh again, and they want things to be purely silly sometimes, and that's what this movie is. It is unabashedly silly, and I loved almost every second of it. Again, it's not like groundbreaking, you know, not gonna blow your socks off, but it was a really fun surprise. Really strong 3.5 out of 5. And our final movie here today is a cinematic achievement that I can't even describe. Something that I haven't fully recovered from, even though I watched it like almost 2 weeks ago at this point. War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube is the biggest cinematic failure I think I've ever seen. This movie is awe-inspiring. It is beyond description, and I think everybody just needs to go watch it for themselves. I'm just gonna leave my rating here. Not even gonna say it. Just what the fuck. Anyway, that's my thoughts on a couple of movies that I haven't seen. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned, watching these videos. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what movies you want to see me review that I haven't already. You know, your thoughts on these movies, whatever you want to talk about it down in the comments. And I will see you with the next review. Thank you so much.